thank you for joining for another video. So today we're looking at moral agency and moral disengagement and some common psychological theories around what these are. So morality is seen as self-sanctioning, and people may disengage from this in order to allow themselves to conduct immoral behaviour. People see themselves as ethical, so if they go on to behave unethically, they invoke methods of moral disengagement, and this is to justify or explain the immoral behaviour that they are doing. The most common theory is socio-cognitive theory of moral disengagement, which was formed by Bandura in 2002. And this is a combination of two other well-known theories, social learning theory from Bandura, which was formed in 1977, and moral cognition from Piaget in 1932. So, the socio-cognitive theory of moral disengagement. This is when people experience moral conflicts when they come across valuable benefits requiring immoral behaviour, such as the bad things in life, and they employ strategies to justify this. Or as Bandura phrased it, cognitive restructuring of inhumane conduct to benign or worthy behaviour. So Bandura broke down moral disengagement into 8 strategies. There is moral justification, which is saying it's not as bad as you think. So this can be retaliation and thoughts around that they deserve it. Euphemistic language, so this is tweaking the language so it doesn't appear as bad. For example, drug dealers might refer to it as just business. Advantageous comparison, which is where you make yourself feel better through comparison. For example, fighting with a rival gang and you happen to stab someone that was a rival member and you say, yes, but they did a drive-by previously, so my crime isn't as bad as what they've done. There is displacement of responsibility, which is where you think that this wasn't actually you, it was someone else's idea and therefore it's not your fault. This can also be seen when you're under duress or being blackmailed and you say it as, they made me do it. There's diffusion of responsibility. This can be seen with football hooligans who go about smashing windows because everyone else has, and they're not solely responsible and they look to others for the blame to make themselves feel less bad as they are a collective group. Therefore, their responsibility for the actions are spread across a similar group to themselves rather than pinpointing the individual actions that they have done. Distortion of consequences. So this is where they don't really see what you've done. For example, taking part in a drive-by shooting, you don't see the bodies that have actually suffered from your actions and therefore you don't think it's so bad, and you cannot see the direct consequences for the actions you've committed. Dehumanisation, which is the tendency when offending to downplay the humanity of those that are being victims. So for example, use very animalistic terminology to describe them. And attribution of blame. So this is blaming the victim, saying it's their fault. So an example of this would be if you're riding an illegal bike and you happen to kill a pedestrian woman, and you would say pedestrians have no consideration for cyclists, and in this way you're shifting the blame. So you admit to doing the crime, but you're blaming the victim instead, such as she was in the wrong place at the wrong time, rather than taking full responsibility for the consequences of your actions. So these are the 8 strategies that Bandura formed, and it's an explanation of moral disengagement and why people might wish to morally disengage from illegal or potentially immoral behaviours. Thank you for listening.